In the story of Moshe being chosen to be the leader to take out Klal Yisrael, the people of Israel, out of Egypt, the famous story is the story of Moshe at the burning bush, the sneh. So the beginning of Shmos, the beginning of Exodus, the Torah tells us a story like this. The sneh boyer, ma'esh v'sneh ein ukol. The sneh, this little bush, was on fire, but it wasn't being consumed. And the pasuk says, the verse says, Vayomer Moshe, Moshe says, Asur na ve'er. Let me pause for a second and move away from where I'm standing, and let me move towards that flame and see, madua lo yivar sneh. Why indeed is the sneh, is this bush not being consumed? And then the verse says, Vayar Hashem sees, Kisar liris. Hashem sees that Moshe stopped and paused and went towards the sneh, towards the bush to see. And Hashem says, Moshe, Moshe. Hashem says, Moshe, Moshe, and Moshe responds, Hineni. Moshe says, I'm ready. So the Hasidic masters tell us that this is actually a description of why Moshe was chosen. Why was Moshe chosen to be the leader of Klal Yisrael as the prophet to take the Jews out of Egypt? Because when the sneh was ukol, when the sneh was on flame and it wasn't being consumed, Moshe stopped, paused, and went to see the wondrous bush. And when it says, Vayar Hashem kisar liris, Hashem saw that Moshe, in fact, stopped to look at the bush. Hashem revealed himself and said, Moshe, 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 and he said, Hineni, here I'm ready. Which means that there's always something mysterious, miraculous happening in this world. But very few people stop and pause and remain present to observe the miraculous. We live in a very distracting world with constant bombardment of all different types of distractions. In fact, every single day, a new type of distraction to create less focus in our life is being created, and people are bombarded from all different directions. The idea, what the Torah is telling us, is if you want to be chosen, if you want to have a relationship with Hashem, if you want to go deeper into your life, you have to sar liras, you have to pause for a moment and take notice and be present. And this is actually what we do when we light the candles of the menorah. The Chanukah menorah, when we light the candle, it forces us, because we're supposed to wait for a few moments. Some people have the custom even waiting for a half hour or longer, sitting at the menorah once the menorah is lit, to say, stop, pause, and just become aware. Stop being distracted by all different types of visuals, all different types of noise, all different types of sounds and stimuli. Sit for a few moments just by the menorah, look into the candle, and be present. And this is a practice of learning how to be present, to see the wonders of creation, the mystery of creation, the awesomeness of creation, and instead of being distracted to the next thing, to stop for one moment and just be present. So as a practice, find a seat and draw closer to the menorah and tune your gaze into the flames and just relax. In a very subtle way, allow the flames to consume you, to fill you, and allow the dance of the lights to calm your mind. Just to be present, to be aware, to be still, to listen, to gaze, to ask. And just sit for a few moments and see if you can get into a state of presence.